the City of Twinsburg Caucus meeting for September 13th, 2022 to order. Time is currently 7 p.m. Shannon, please call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Fury?
Here.
Mr. Post?
Here.
Mrs. Labby? Here. Mr. Bellin?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
Present.
Mr. Scafidi?
Here.
Okay, do we have any presentations this evening?
There are none.
Okay, items for discussion, members of council?
Mayor? No, sir.
Okay. Do we have any audience participation this evening?
We do. We have Steve Hummel.
All right.
Council, Mayor Scafidi, my name is Steve Hummel, 2500 Old Mill Road, Hudson, Ohio, 44236. I'm actually in the township of Twinsburg. That's my mailing address. I just want to get back to you about the issue with Ms. Muter. I brought that up. I filed a formal complaint here, and I believe one of the council members said they would get back to me. I've gotten no update. That was the meeting when council approved 57-2022, and Ms. Muter invoked my name and used my professional expertise in sedimentation and erosion to bolster her cause without giving me the ability to respond to something that was spoken in ignorance. And so I'm wondering what's going on with that. I'm not going to get into the details of what she did to me that night. I want to bring that up because that was highly offensive to me. You don't invoke somebody's name that there with their professional experience and not let them speak. You know, and I can't have people laying their hands on me when I did nothing wrong. That goes well above and beyond what should happen at a meeting like this. So, I mean, it's been brought up. I know that 17 of us filled out a document. We sent it. There has been no response to us. All 17 people signed it as one letter about that complaint. And there are various other things listed on that complaint against Ms. Muter. And so I'd like to know where that's at. What's going on with that? Because I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting that go. So that's what I want to know about.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Hummel?
Not right now. I'll get to the rest of it at the council meeting.
So it was mentioned at the last council meeting that there were some questions about council providing online forms and things like that for citizen complaints. This really isn't the purview of that body. I mean, but those type of things are typically handled through human resources, that department head, and the administration. Ms. Muter does not work for city council. She works for the city, for the administration.
And I believe that we did send something to the head of the HR department, haven't received anything back. And the only reason I asked that tonight, Mr. Barr, is because that night when I brought that up as a formal complaint, somebody in council said they would get back to me. And I haven't heard anything back. I have a phone, I have an address. So you've gotten back to me, and I appreciate that tonight, letting me know where that stands.
Understood. So again, apologies on behalf of council for not responding in a more timely fashion. Mr. Mayor, if you have anything you'd like to add, but employee discipline typically is not the purview of city council.
Okay, I got that.
But I do appreciate your concerns, and I thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Hummel, when that happened that evening, I, of course, wasn't sitting in this seat. I was sitting in that seat. So I'm truly not aware of what you turned in, but I will talk to HR tomorrow, and I'll try to get to the bottom of it. Let me see, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay, thanks, Mr.
Okay.
Scafidi.
You're
Thank
welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Hummel.
I forgot to sign up. Can I still sign up or not?
Okay. Thank you.
Fine with me, Mr. Baldwin, that's fine, absolutely. Was that our only other?
Yes,
You're not-
that was our only
working
audience
with water,
participation.
you know?
Good to see you, Mr. Baldwin. How are you this
Okay,
evening?
good evening, everybody. Good evening. Well, first of all, Mayor, I want to thank you for the short time you have been here, what you got done, the trees, which meant a lot to me over that problem. And the grass mowed on 82, the two properties are cleaned up on Depot Street. I complained about that way last year. I can't believe how fast it got done. And this happened what I'm gonna talk about now happened before you were here.
Okay.
But don't get overjoyed, I'm not gonna vote for you. So. This is the second thing. Before you were mayor, the first time this happened early this year, 2022, it was leaving council meeting. All of a sudden, Twinsburg police car lights were in back of me, not the overheads, but the regular ones. And that happens, I understand that. And then again, they followed me on 14. 4 to 6 weeks later, this happened again. And it could be another coincidence. I understand how that happens. It could happen to anybody. But the third time, I don't think it's a coincidence. The third time this happened, a couple of weeks later, I left. After this, I left my residence. I look in my mirror, there's a police car really close in back of me. I was doing exactly 28 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. The car backed off, and then I look again, he's on my bumper again. So I just kept on going. I didn't put the brakes or anything on. I mean, I really felt bad about this. That to me, I hope the people coming the other way seen this car so close to me. So I have 3 words for the Twinsburg Police Department officer who followed me like that. Shame, shame, shame on you. And your last council election coming up, I don't think I'll ever find out who sent the city worker to my house over my signs, but I remember the signs that were incorrect. That was my fault. I took care of it. I apologize for it. And I just don't understand why sometimes there's signs showing up now. Oh, and again, down on something went amok down there at the Blue Top because they moved the Blue Top lawn, but I think somebody told me up here that the guy next door owns the Blue Top or whatever. And one property was mowed and the other wasn't mowed, which happened before, and he said they were gonna take care of that. And okay, I guess that's about it. Oh, I said, just be glad some people, I know, complain, but they don't come up here, so I can understand where that can be a problem, where some people don't know what they do. Thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baldwin.
Thanks, Mr. Baldwin.
Any additional participation? Any additional responses to either Mr. Baldwin or Mr. Hummel? Moving on to pending legislation. We have a few pieces this evening, the first being Ordinance 75, 2022. This will be the second reading for the redistricting of wards per Section 3.02 of the Charter of the Districting Commission. All wards must be within 10% of the same number of registered voters. Commission met, compiled a report and map meeting the criteria which will be presented to council in Ordinance 75, 2022. Will be read on 3 separate occasions. The emergency clause will be part of the third and final reading, just so we can get this to the Summit County Board of Elections in time. Ordinance 77, 2022, also on its second reading, is to create a new section of code in regards to illicit discharge. This will be read at 3 separate meetings as well. The emergency clause will be adopted on the third and final reading in order to include it in the next code update. And it's illicit discharge as it pertains to stormwater and wastewater runoff and things of that nature. Resolution 81, 2022 is a resolution to accept the amounts and rates provided by Summit County for the tax year 2022, collection year 2023 tax levies. The total millage is 3 mills, which Summit County estimates to generate $2.153 million. The 3 mills includes a .30 for the police pension fund, .30 mills for the fire pension fund, and 2.4 mills for the police and fire levy fund, which is used for safety capital, police and fire pensions. Resolution 82, 2022 is a resolution for the annual legislation to authorize request and advancement of local taxes from Summit County, which is something we do every year. It's boilerplate. Ordinance 83, 2022 is an ordinance that will be on its first reading this evening. It's for a fixed asset policy, which was last updated in 2015. The Finance Committee and Council has discussed increasing the capitalization policy from $5,000 to $10,000 in order to better reflect current costs. Basically inflationary. Ordinance 84, 2022 is on its first reading tonight as well. And this is to allow ODOT to perform bridge inspections within the city limits. These services are paid for 100% by the state for municipalities under a population of 50,000 residents. excuse me. Bridges by the Ohio Revised Code are required to be inspected annually. This ensures that annual inspections of those bridges do occur. The locations specifically include East Idlewood, Dutton Drive, Moreland Drive, Bissell Road, and the Glenwood Golf Court Tunnel, and also McTiernan over the railroad tracks. That concludes the legislation for this evening. Moving on to miscellaneous. Any council members or the mayor have any miscellaneous items to discuss this evening?
Oh, sir.
All right. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to enter into an executive session to discuss matters pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22G3, regarding pending litigation. May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bellin seconds. Any further discussion? Shannon, please call the roll.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mrs. Labby?
Yes.
Mr. Post?
Yes.
All right, we will enter into executive session and report back.